I want to thank Kavashkacha Pratis. I want to thank Torah Anytime. I want to thank Kol HaLoshen. Thank the Eibush himself. What a simcha it is to be alive. The Eibush's beautiful world. What a simcha to be alive. I don't know. I speak to people I just had someone on the phone with me today crying for 1.5 hour. Believe me, I felt there was something to cry about. It wasn't stop. But I can't say this to someone crying on the phone. If they don't have the chinuch, what people go through in life, different things. If you don't have the chinuch, it's not gonna. But I would tell the Olam, what makes you tick? What do you want in life? I'm telling you, I say it, I'm a broken record. Rabbi Miller for sure is on my side. The Baal is way, I got it all from him. The simcha in life is breathing, seeing, hearing, talking, moving your limbs. It's delicious to do that stuff. It's so delicious. I wanted a tine of that, a carbon. You want to come? Rabbi Miller says, you want to get simcha? Go to a chronic disease hospital and look what's going on. This guy can't talk, can't hear, can't see. You want to see him in action? What's going on there? The Yisurim that people go through, shreklich. Well, you see that? You'll cheer up. It's a little funny. That Rabbi Miller, what's this all about? I'd rather hear it very well. I hear it Meridik. I'll tell you why. I'm clicked with Rabbi Miller, even though I did know him, but my main chinuch was Novandig, a little way to Slabotka. You also had big Talmidim, Kelm, Novandig, and Slabotka. That's my main little Chaimbalin. But why did I? Because I find everything, he had it. In breaking midas, he chopped us so get better than anybody. Miller's, it's mamish, you don't chop while you're going around sad. Oh, you have to be mishtatev. What baloney, mishtatev and yedim star. Baloney, before that guy was born, you were kvetching. Now you found another reason to kvetch. You went to chronic disease hospital. Hey, how much sorrows? Hey, blah, 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 blah. You've been saying, hey, way back. Don't blame it on the chronic disease. Now you got another, hey, but it's real. I know it's real, and your meter of kvetching is so real. It's sitting in your system. It goes back Dairis. They say we're Gilgulim of Dara Midbar. Dara Midbar, Messiahing him with the Meraglim, Bechil Dairis. You cry for no reason, you will give you what to cry about. That's the whole Golas is sitting on. That's the whole Torah. You kvetch. So therefore, you must go extreme. Rabbi Miller said it sounds cold. Hey, you must go extreme. I have a riot straight from the pasuk. What are you going to dump to? All the punishments that the mitzvah, that's a positive thing. Then not go over there, and the answer is yes. Kol hamachla asher samti b'Mitzrayim lo yasem alecha ki ani Hashem rofecha. It won't happen to you. Just behave. But a person has to know. He has to have a Yiras Shamayim. There's a potential of that, but it's not happening. And your simcha is such simcha from being alive and healthy. It's such a simcha to be healthy. What a bracha. And just be sitting in a chair and being able to move and to come. You have to sit, Rabbi Miller, you have to kick in after a while. Someone's hacking cup with that all day long. Slowly but surely it becomes real. And you really love it and it's fun. Now you're a little different than the rest of the world. The rest of the world is you don't chop. We certainly have to make an island to really do it right. Rabbi Miller's godless he was a walking island. He was a gibar she'en kamayim. He was a big Balkishan. He was able to be alone in his own world. It's not so simple for everybody to do that. The Novandig Shita was to live in the forest, away from everyone else, Now we're going to talk our language. And we're going to have our fun. You know, like people run after food. Watch the way the guy eats. Food's all over the place. How can't you avoid food? That's all they talk about. Food. Did you eat? Do you eat yet? Did you eat? I was once in the mountains, in the yeshiva there, and the shalosh, they put me up front. They put me up front over there, and to eat with the Rosh Yeshivas. And they were a little concerned. There was some private food over there, some dips. And the guy sitting next to me was like, very worried about me. The Rosh Yeshiva said, did you have this? Did you have to eat? You know, because he knew the food was a little bit, whatever it was, the matzah was. So finally I turned around and he says, believe me, nobody's starving around here. This is not, my buttons are popping. Diets, everyone's worried that he eat too much. In this country, it's itself such a bracha from the Eibishter. So much food, so much variety of different, the texture and the color and the kinds of food. And it's such a, I see neflois habayri every time I look at food. I see neflois habayri every time I see it b'nei Torah. Take a look at b'nei Torah and enjoy. Enjoy. Look what's going on. This type and that type. He's into Bekiyas, he's into Ian. The variety, the different types of Jews. I'm going to tell you Murdik about now. I am a Kapitchinitzer, and they're very, very into. Kapitchinitz is very into everybody's good. We're all friends. I'm going to say something a little nasty, which I love to say. It's never as bad as people think it'll be. But I like to make lebedik, you know. Some people blow up buses to make lebedik. They get restless. You got to do something. Mach lebedik. So at my level, I want to make it lebedik a little bit. I didn't like, Reb Gershon Lehman used to tell me that Novandik is Ashita. Okay. I love Novandik. I'm here for Novandik. I came special for America. But there's other Shitas. I never said that to him. But that's my mentality. I never went for that. You know, you have your Shita. What about him and this? So, Rabbi, it takes years till you. He used to rave over Novandik. He didn't put down anyone else. But he said, you don't chop what a Shita is Novandik. Well, he had what to show. The man used to laugh in his sleep. He was a shtick simcha. I'm going to tell you something. The kaidan of a chassidim. Now, first, I'm just going to tell you one thing. People don't know what the Novandik looked like in Europe. It was a little bit similar to chassidus. I've heard that from Rav Pastanek. And the simcha that they had, Stamazai there on Haggah. There's a picture, you can see there's a book that in the Kanevsky Mishpacha they wrote about, whatever. And there's a picture of Galinsky, of Reb Chaim's Mishpacha, somewhere that Chasana. There's a Galinsky with her umbrella dancing on the table. And that's the body. Then there's a story of Reb Gershon used to tell it, he used to pride himself. When we went to collect money for Novandik, he went to Washington. And Washington, he was dancing on the tables. And then, Reb Shmuel Birnbaum, Zatzal, who learned in Branovich, said about the Alta of Novahdik's son-in-law on Hanukkah. That was Reb Yisrael Yankee, was a Malach. He used to dance on the table. Okay, there you go. 3 Novahdika table dances. Don't tell me you can't dance on tables. It's fine. The Chabatskis? Dancing on tables, that's what it's all about. Kaidan of Achsidim, on Simchas Torah, they used to dance on tables. A 90-year-old Kaidanova was seen dancing. Why not? He's 90, so he can't dance on tables? Why not? You know, they say, by Chassidim, they say, when you get older, an Alta Chassid is 2 young ones. You don't get old around here. I don't believe in that either. I don't get it, especially if I hang around these 9-year-olds all day. I don't know what maturity means. It's not in my dictionary. What does that mean, mature? I never hopped that concept. What, and being mature? I'm not into that sugya. Let's have a good time. You know, I hang around my 9-year-olds. They love the snow. When it snows, they have a ball, and I'm like them. I must admit, I do certain things. I hope my Manal doesn't hear this. But I've done things that are a little bit unorthodox in my classroom. The kids love it. Guess what happens? First, I dance a lot. Let's go, boys. In different classes, I would walk into class and dance for a half an hour to start my day. By the way, whatever I do, I check this out with daily Israel. Not kids. People who... Bekitza. And Rebbe ends up on the table, of course. And he jumps down. And they took a picture of me with my Talmid in the Ian magazine. By the way, you know who I am. But I was in the... do you know that? Oh, okay. You know who I am. That Erech Deretz. You know who I am? Okay. I'm not stomach guy. Anyway. So they dance on tables. That's just a simon of what Navadik, what dancing on tables. The simcha that oozes from breaking midas all day. That's the way to go. You're going into a dead end. Well, Nachas. The person who was crying to me today, I want to give a bracha. That person by me is a super holy person and is going through a matzah that, and give them all a bracha. This should be a nisim gluyin b'kar mamish. Oh, and it's got to happen. You wait. Avada, especially such an olam. Should be. I'm going to keep telling the Eibush that my covet's at stake. You know, it's going to be. I had last night's Shabbos 10 reports of nisim. I had 10 phone calls right after Shabbos. I had 10 phone. I counted once in a while. Maybe a couple of more, but 10 of the guys that called me with their. Every one of them, one had a heart problem that was dead, and suddenly, after my bracha, boom, things are moving. The other one was supposed to have epilepsy, that suddenly it's not happening. It's Baruch Hashem. The other one was coughing. Shrek l'chamatzav and Shashav Yanamachla suddenly disappeared overnight. Then I had another one, the guy, a psychotic Nebuchadnezzar person that feels like a new person. They have another one, the guy that's on the machine. The situation turned around completely, Rebbe. Completely. I don't even know what it is. But I got 10 of those. Unbelievable. And one night, one wife is after another. The Eibush spoils me. I'll tell you, one of the ways of doing it is to keep saying, I bat 1,000. Never admit to one failure. I never heard Rabbi Miller ever put himself down. First of all, he had me this so well. What are you putting yourself down for? It's a habit, because everyone does it. You know, Reb Baruch Matchazrachi said, he once came to Reb Shach's Shloshim, and he said, why does a person say, Reb Shach didn't say Lanias Daiti? Why does a person say Lanias Daiti? Either because it's never, that's the situation. That's never Anias, you know, you're not too bright, Anias Daiti, that's never the matzah. Or, he wants people should hear the way he says, Lanias Daiti. If Shach didn't do that. I don't do that either. I say, what do I say? My not so humble opinion.
What is it stand for when people always like
They all do it. They want to sound, listen to me. Whoever does it is going to get a lamhaba. Because they have the midah of anova. That's it. It's a good thing to do. Keep it up. You don't have to listen to me. Keep it up. Everyone does it. First of all, don't be meshana for minhag hamakom. Everyone does it. Do it. Like his daiti. All the g'daylim do it. It's just me that I'm not so. If you want to join my way of thinking, I'm into simcha. I'm into reimamis. I believe in Dr. Hashem. I'm a different approach, which I feel is the mahalach for today. Do you know Rabbi Ram Yafin told Rabbi Zuckerman? By the way, do you know that Rabbi Miller Zatzal was seen Erev Rosh Hashanah in Beis Yosef? Let's hope Nevada keeps it. He was seen there davening slichas, and Rabbi Zuckerman told me this. Rabbi Zuckerman was one of the top Talmidim of Rabbi. He's a Rav here in Lakewood. He told me this. He said that he saw Rabbi Miller. He said, "What's he doing here? He left his old killer to come to Daven Beis Yosef Novandik." He said, and they quoted him. This he didn't hear, as saying, "This is a warm place. This place is on fire." Novandik, even though he is Slabotka Novandik, it's all the same. Rabbi saying, he came to Novandik. I always held that him and Novandik very strikingly similar, because both Chovos HaLevavos and Chovos HaLevavos verpacks people's opinions. Rabbi Miller, oh, you like me? You don't like me? He had a vad. He cared if they came. He had nobody. He could have had, they say, he could have had a bigger, he didn't want to, whatever he had, cheshbonos. He was not looking for covet. He had covet in the garbage can. How many people came? Not into that stuff. He was in the Chovos HaLevavos. Well, Yidom Machlakusam, says the Chovos HaLevavos. Don't be afraid if people separate from you. That's one shot. That chaylik on you, you don't have to be Mr. Popularity. He didn't believe in that whole business. That's very similar. Chovos HaLevavos. Anyway, Rabbi Yaffin told Rabbi Zuckerman that, do you know that me and Rabbi Kotler and myself were young Bachar, he was an Ilu Yotzim, Rabbi Yaffin. We learned by the Krinker Rav Zalman Sender. He was a Gein Olam. We were under Bar Mitzvah and he learned with us. Do you know that we did not have the Yetzaras that you people have? And he quoted a Gra in Mishlei that says, Shemaya Tishma, whatever, B'chodesh, B'yoshem, B'chodesh, whatever. He said, you're supposed to have a Maseiris for whatever you do. You stick to the Amalaga. But if you want to know how to do it in Avodas Hashem, ask your friends. How'd your friends get in there? They know how to do it. Don't ask the last dar. They're different Nishanis. Different world. They're not you. Rabbi Yaffin told us to Rabbi Zuckerman B'Shem the Gra. That's, I don't know, but you don't tell an Americana, what did Reb Gershon do when they came to France? He didn't tell me like, this Gornish, get out of here. You're looking for cover. I see it right in your face. He didn't do that stuff. Like they do with each other. Novandik is with each other. You know what they used to do? I watched them come to Monroe. I remember Reb Shlomo Figer was there. Reb Gershon was there. Could be Rosalmai. I think there were three of them. And I was watching them in action, schmoozing around with each other. They were so funny. Each one, they were knocking themselves and laughing. I'm looking for cover all over the place. No, I'm also looking for cover there. They're just laughing. They knocked each other for fun. That was a favorite pastime. That was a hobby. He didn't change. They laughed. I'm still the same kook that he always was. They loved that. The Vardigas did not mind knocking themselves at all. I'll tell you exactly what they were saying. They were saying, I'm bottled. There's a big crowd over here, all these thousands of Satmar Chassidim. It was the Satmar's Yartzeit. They took a special trip, or Gershon took a trip. They covered the Satmar. He was very close with them. And Satmar used to give money. And he says, I'm bottled. He says, I'm even more bottled than you. Bottle means you see the whole crowd and you turn into a shmata because you're so impressed with everybody. Just what the Vardigas are not. They say, you almost up. I'm even worse. No, I'm gefelach. You think you're about gaivening. Watch me in action. And they're laughing. They knew how to do it. They were professionals. They knew how to do it, and with a simcha. They knew how to knock and kid around. I remember Rav Galinsky once said about himself. He told Rav Shach, I want to stop all my running around and everything, collecting and speaking, barab and all that stuff. I want to take off my bekashins, my sit down and learn again. Rav Shach told him, not this lashon, but in so many words, you're not holding by learning to save your life. Galinsky tells it over. How's my ladder? You're out of it. And he laughed when he told it over. He laughed. He laughed. So, by us, not holding by learning? It's not right. You know, serious people around here. The Novherdik is the one who got through a Kodesh without being serious. Yeah, what's going on? You gotta watch out how much seriousness. Oh, he's serious? Are you seriously depressed? That's the old problem. Before Yiddishkeit came along. Do you know what depression is all over the place? The entire country has the same pretty much level of depression. You don't have to be from yeshivish. Some people blame, too much learning. Oh, too much learning? Okay. Want to see what's going on in the workforce? I once told a friend of mine, he wanted to know where to send his kid. She comes to my house and says, where should I send my kid? So I picked the most right-wing type of mice. I said, I'm a frummie. And go there. And he was sold on me. I explained everything, why. Then his wife got a hold of him and she nixed the whole business. No. His wife was aufgeklärt, like they say. I don't know if you know what that means. Smart lady. She said, no, I don't believe in that stuff. Okay, she was like a little more, broad-minded than I was. Anyway, I was once on the phone with her. And she told me, these guys are not cut out for learning. They shouldn't learn. Because they're not cut out for learning. A lot of these guys don't belong there. You know what I told me? I just heard the statistics from my Rebbe in Baltimore, environment film. The statistics of people who don't like their jobs, of something like 60%, very high, right for sure. They just found a very high percentage. They're just not cut out. This guy went to medical school for 10 years. He went Meshuggah with another 5 years internship. And then, now, start practicing. I got to do my practice, medical school. Or a lawyer. Whoa, passed the bar. He's he's a lawyer. And then they start practicing. You know how many of them have charata? I didn't know it was like this. Oh, now all day long, busy with these patients, they're getting on my nerves. Now they're getting so many people out there do not like the jobs. Most of them. So I said like this, look, so you say the guys who are learning are not cut out. A lot of them. All right, so mine have Gemina. So who is cut out? Who is cut out for what he's doing? So you might as well, what did he tell Rabbi Akiva? Ashrecha Rabbi Akiva shenetfast al divrei Torah. You go, everyone ends up in jail, right? Papas ben Yehuda. He had a taina, Rabbi Akiva. What are you learning for? You're going to get in trouble. So he said, muscle with the fox and the fish. I got to learn or else it's... Anyway, so in the end, they both ended up in jail. So he said, Papas, what are you doing here? You weren't learning. So you see, you're in the same boat. So at least I'm in jail for learning Torah. So you're in jail for not learning Torah. At least something to look forward to in Yeneveld. I feel good about myself, did the right thing. We're all in the garbage can. Everyone's depressed. Forget it. The only thing is, if you're a Shiva guy, and you're from here, part of your depression comes from a Yer Shemaim reason. Even though it's not with the Ganza Biramidis, there's a reason that has, you're not learning good enough. Whatever. There's Torahs involved in there. It's great. So be depressed at least. But, now, I have a Maisa. This Maisa is Neira Neirais. I heard this from my dear friend Reb Chaim Safran. And he is Reb Chaim Safran. When we used to go to Novherdok to see Reb Gershon, I'm telling you, when we looked at him, we're in awe. Look at him. Just look at him. We were 3 Americans. We used to 3-4 Americans. I used to go with a few Yodelites. Every year I took some chevra along. We used to watch him. Look at him. We were laughing. Look at him. He had a straight back. He looked like a general who owned the world. And he was always laughing. Always laughing. And his chaver said it came from Musa, because he's busy laughing at the world. I cannot taiva ma'akovid. They're laughing at the world. Everyone's with the kineh, with the taiva, laughing at the Yitzhahara. There one sort of Gershon running around Buser. Buser, that's the place where he lived. In the forest over there. It's a small town, an hour from Paris. And there he's walking back and forth, looking for something. Ma Rabbeinu machapes. They used to call him Rabbeinu. Ma Rabbeinu machapes. What are you looking for? Ani machapes shvirot hamidot. I'm looking for an opportunity to break my midas. That's what he was. You know how happy you get? I want to get this going. You wait. We are bringing the Novandik back. You know, we just started a koil. One of the Rosh Koilim is right here, Rabbi Adman Shlita. And
everyone's invited also. To never learn most of his Bibles.
Yes.
Where else could you learn most of his Bibles?
It was Murdik.
There's nowhere else.
It was Murdik. And you can even hear me talk if you didn't hear enough of me. Anyway. So
9:45 to 10:05 every night. We learn most of his Bibles.
What's the address?
18 East 8th Street.
18 East 8th Street. Amuna Yisrael Beis Medrash, 9:45 to
9:45 to 10:05. 9:45 to 10:05.
9:40 to 10:05. 20 minutes Musa.
Yeah.
And you could leave right after Ma'ariv. And you don't have to stay for the drasha. If you heard me already.
10:05.
It was Mamish, it was Kanak. I want to tell you something. I want to say a good word about my chevra here. These are Novandikas. They had the koil and it closed. So I met her, I felt so bad. It went on for a couple of months, it was beautiful, but after a while, it petered out. Goodbye. So, I met Ramosha Hirschberg. He told me, Rosh Hashanah, he says, I feel so bad. He says, don't worry about me. He says, don't worry about me. And he wasn't like nothing happened. My koil, it closed down. I worked so hard. Not the Varnigas. My koil closed down. So what? Don't worry about me. You know what the Alter from the Varnig once did? He had to close the yeshiva. He says, if you're not ready to close the yeshiva, don't open one. He said, once he found out they were doing something in his yeshiva that he didn't like. Now, some people say they went overboard with Musa. I don't know if that's true or not. But that's what some people, I'm choshed, may have an agiyas, ones who made that up. It may be true now. It's not an agiyah. But it's possible. Who knows? He took a long distance trip. I don't think he was on the train for 12 hours straight. An old man. He read, and he came to the yeshiva and he put a lock at the door and he said, no more. He said, Kashem Shem Makabel Schara Drisha, Kach Makabel Schara Prisha. I'm closing it. He went with the same geschmack as we're building a yeshiva. Oh, Rabbi said, come, let's close the yeshiva with a geschmack. It's a mitzvah. You're an Eved Hashem. You're not here to make it, not make it. You're here to do Ratzon Hashem. Making yeshivas, we do that only because Ratzon Hashem. So he held, you got to close it. Ratzon Hashem. Didn't want to get shema. He shut the yeshiva. So what? We have the Jackson Yidden coming already. We have a branch starting in Jackson. By the way, get in touch. We're going to make a shtiebel over there. Chaim is going to be involved. Rabbi and Pesach. Anyone else here from Jackson? Goodbye. You're in Jackson too. Ooh, we have a whole oilam. We'll make a shtiebel there. Let's play this. You're into it. Jackson's great. Oh, we have to get together. We have different branches. The Jackson oilam, the Lakewood oilam. Going to get together. We'll see. We still have to make Kiryat Novandik and Howell, hopefully, wherever it's going to be. Still talking about it. One of these days, it's going to happen. I told you what. Going to have a big sign. Welcome to Kiryat Novandik. In big letters, you may gain weight in this place. It's no problem. We're not into that stuff. It's mutalach. You'll live long. Don't worry. Chaim Kanevsky's fine. How old is he? 90? The altar was heavy. You know that? The stiper was heavy. It's a minig Novandik to be heavy. So if you have any problems being heavy, say it's my minig. I'm joking. I'm joking. You'll have to be slim too. We're not into that stuff. In case you had, okay, of course, your isn't exactly what. We won't kill you around here. You don't kill you nowhere because nobody notices it except for you. I'm so embarrassed. Whoa, he's worried about. Anyway, so, and on the sign there's going to be a picture of an Novandiga with his hat on backwards. And it's going to be big letters. Welcome to Novandiga. Please dress accordingly. I'm joking. Anyway, I'm not joking. You never know. First, you walk in, you smile. We got him to live. Shem Vein Kedai, the whole Kirya, to get a yid to live. It's a big idiot to get people to live. Lately I'm in touch with somebody, a big Balmosi, he's a Tairi, you got tzaddik. And he says, you're getting me to live. It's an important thing nowadays. I said, yeah, lately, if my jokes are better than usual, I'd like the Elam to tell me about it. Because there's a Bach who calls me every other day. Bach likes to talk to me. He needs and he tells me his jokes. And I listen. And he's into that. And he is davening for me that my jokes should be good. Should have special. The Rebbe has special. I think it's you need the Rebbe of the generation. Every dar needs its own type of Rebbe, its own type of Chassidim, their own type of what's important in life, what they have to daven for. He's davening my jokes should be okay. So the Elam should like them, they should laugh. I'm friends with Yankel Miller's son, Tzaddik, from Toronto. So we kid around a little bit. He's that type of little, and we give each other brachas, and he gives a yell at me, give out bracha, the Elam should chop my jokes. That's it's an important thing. Don't ask when you make a joke and no one laughing, it's a Shrek. Anyway, it's not an easy life. Anyway, where am I up to? So Reb Chaim Safran left. He left Mlikod. And Reb Oizer was behind it. He busted up though. I remember we were watching Reb Gershon. Look at him, look at that smiling face. He was laughing, not smiling. He was oozing. He wasn't putting it on, that was him. He was oozing with simcha, with laughter. Not simcha, laughter. That's what Reb Oizer was the same way. He was always laughing. We all had that in them, but a lot. The bigger ones had more. I had a vot. A little vot, you'll excuse me. Why is it Ketores? This week's part, Achimais. The first thing, you go into the Kodesh HaKadoshim, you're going to bring in Ketores. Now, what's that all about? Kodesh HaKadoshim, first thing Ketores. Why that? By the way, there's different madrashim. There's one medrash that says the Ketores is b'tachon, kivuy. It's whatever. There is a medrash that calls Ketores b'tachon. There's another medrash that says simcha. Ketores is simcha. Two different. I'll show it to you. I have it written down. This week's B'tachon Weekly, we'll have it. In fact, did you get it, Reb Simcha? You got this week's? You'll see it. It's in print already. You got it, huh? So I just made it. So Ketores means simcha. Now the first thing you do in Yom Kippur, Ketores. First thing is simcha. Then they'll spritz the blood, up achas, the par, the soyer, you got to do Vaydis Yema Kodesh, there's nothing like it. First thing, simcha. First, Ketores smells good, simcha. And the Kodesh HaKadoshim, it's daka minat daka. You have to grind it double. Because when you grind it, the aroma comes out better. And outside the Kodesh HaKadoshim, it's pras b'shachris, pras bein harbayim. Pras is like a half a measure. The word pras means half. No? Pras means, it's half a measure, whatever. And Yom Kippur, malai chafnav. 2 full handfuls. Full. It's Yom Kippur. When you're in Kodesh HaKadoshim, the simcha oozes. Outside the Kodesh HaKadoshim, you have less, and you don't make a duck. You don't grind it again and again and again and again. So make it smell even better. You don't do that. You grind it and finish. Because you're in Kodesh. Kdoshin, extra grinding. If you're going to be an Avartiga who's extra from, you can have extra simcha. These people had simcha like crazy because day and night, Avodas Hashem was on their mind, and they know how to do it right. Break your midas, ikachias adam shviras midas, from lav lamalei. They didn't have aggravations from kids, none of them. Reb Gershon was once on the telephone. He was complaining. Ah, Rabotai, ze lo haya tov. Somebody overheard him. Yeshli agmat nefesh mizeh. He spoke very soft. He was tough and like this, but he spoke like Yeshli agmat nefesh mizeh. We were rolling. He doesn't know what agmat nefesh means. Yeshli agmat nefesh mizeh. He had to play his game because somebody shepherded him. So he had to open his mouth and say, I'm sorry, whatever it was. He didn't care. He had no agmat nefesh. He didn't know what it meant. Agmat nefesh, what's that? Agmat nefesh, I heard from Rav Weinkrantz, he said that whoever, now this is not for us. You can listen to it, but it's not for us. Watch out. He said, in Yenevelt, you're going to get smacked up for having aggravation. What happened to Koma Rachmanu L'Tavo? But don't, easy with that. If that vote's going to make you get into Musa and stop you from molding, such aggravation in my life. You know what they do when you get aggravation? Nobhardikers will do a bitter amidus. Bitter means they're going to be mavar. What? Where is that aggravation really coming from? What's the truth about that aggravation? Who's that? Your kid? Your son? Your wife? Your figure? Who? Your shver? The boss? The neighbor? Where's it coming from? I have a child. Hey, what's the matter? The Yiddishkeit is not on my level. Now, that's a good reason. Oh boy. You should talk or cry. But, Apple became. In Navarik, they rip you apart and prove to you that you like the kvetch anyway, so bug off. Or they'll tell you you're looking for cover. Do you have nachas from your neighbor's success in Yiddishkeit? Why not? Because he's not yours? So you're such an egoist? You don't care for the apes, you care for your own image, what I look like. I just got this call. Someone called me, going through Gehenna, and they told me openly, my neighbors don't have my peckle. That's what hurts the most. You know what the Vault says? Mi yeyani, mi yeyasher. I'm Rosh Hashanah. Who's going to get poor and who's going to get rich? They say, mi yeyasher. They cry more than mi yeyani. The guy, he's going to get rich. That hurts more than mi yeyani. If I get poor, but he's rich. See, just heard people, they stretch to me, they tell me, and my sister doesn't have such a yisurim like I do, and this one's doing much better, and the mom's crying like babies. We can understand it, but if you're an Avartiga, you say, oh, that's so nice. So who needs his covet? Covet's silly anyway. So you be the knacker with the nice kids. I don't need that garbage. I mean, you have to try, of course. I know Rabbi Yisrael was very with his kids. Used to daven his head so that the kids, and they all turned out. It was very important. But in the final analysis, when things aren't going your way, it's just stupid, silly covet, hevel havalim. What do you care? So he's a nasty kid. I remember Galinsky talking about his kids. So one of them, he said, it's big Balkishan, he's very smart. But he didn't use it for learning. Another guy goes, such a Balkishan, and he doesn't learn anything. Oh, yeah, organization. He's laughing. So, it's a big Balkishan. He's not for learning. One of the kids, a little modern, a little modern. Modern. Kid's modern. Oi, you got to jump off a roof. Kid's modern. It's no good. Now, you ought to be concerned. What's the question? But I tell you, my raya is Avraham Avinu. It says, "V'liv kaisa." There's a small chaf. You have to cry. Your wife is nifta, but it's a small chaf. Why is that small? You cry, but you're fine because you believe in the Eibush. You're not falling apart. And the same thing, Katsi B'chayim B'nei B'nai Chais. It says, the Mama Rivka said, Katsi, I'm disgusted. My daughter-in-law's Esav's wives, the Ketairis Nabach, the Zara that they're using in the house that killed her. She said, Katsi B'chayim, I'm disgusted. B'nai Chais, look what they're like. And the cup is small. Why is it small? Because she's talking. Like Reb Gershon. Yesh li akbat nefesh. You got to go with the punches. There's so much simcha going on. I said a vot about Shmir Sinai. I'm going to tell you a vot of Shmir Sinai. It's gold. This vot is, that's all of awesome. It's great. Anybody who passes, you're going to like to have complained. What do you ever so want from me? You walk in the street, the ladies are, but Father, if you live in Brooklyn, you live in Manhattan, Hashem, it's not problem. How you allowed to walk there? I don't know. But still, it's there. There's a guy that's careful. It bothers him. And if it doesn't bother him, it might be a worse problem. It reminds me with the Sabo to Kolzenberger. This younger man comes in. He says, Rebbe, it's no good. What's the matter? I can't. In my job, there's women, there's secretaries. It's no good. What should I do? Something says, you need parnasa, you stay there. And it bothers me. You need parnasa, stay in there. That's your job. Comes back 2 years later, something asks him, how's your parnasa doing? I said, oh, it's fine, it's doing great. And what about the ladies? It's fine, it's fine. So he says, you got problems. It doesn't bother you. Come on, I got some malach. You lost your sensitivity to these. Listen, and nowadays, watch out, Rabbi say. Everybody's good. No. Different door. Everybody's great, so you're not so perfect. You're gewaldig. Forget it. Chas v'sholom, the vot's a good vot, but it's a cute vot. Everyone's great. I don't care. You don't mun people and make them a sugar these days. Anyway, you mun them for simcha. You try it. So a guy's walking in the street. If he's a person who watches his eyes, and first of all, Ratzah comes Baruch Zaki, says Yisrael. You're walking in the street, and let's say there's girls getting on the bus. You're driving, and there's a bus to the right. They're getting on. Big ones, little ones. Let's say there's 10 girls. And you avoid that direction. A little bit, a drop. You know how many mitzvahs you got? If there's 10 of them. If there's 50, if there's 20. And the other side, there's also a few. You know what's going on. You walk 2 blocks in these days, and you watch yourself as you're not. You got 100 mitzvahs. You got millions. You're an usher. That's why the Abishah does that. What? I know. I mentioned that in my other vad. The guy turns his face, and later someone says, "Oh, there was some Yishmak Yeshiva Bacham over there." Oh, he gets double schar. He comes to Yenavelt. He says, "Eibishter, I was Parish be Suffolk." Ooh, good. That's the best. He avoided looking at the Bacham. So, anyway, you know how many mitzvahs you get. The Archaim HaKadosh says, why we live in Mitzrayim and Canaan, the craziest places, worst stupid zima. What's that? Why? So he says, if you live in such a place, you're going to have an atiyah to that garbage. It rubs off. They're all into it. You're going to have a certain... So he says, a tzaddik gomer doesn't... A tzaddik gomer does. By the way, before the Elam, first of all, you can take as much as you can. Everybody say, take. Talk weekly as much as you can. Now, and second, I want to say, if anybody wants to step forward, let me know, we are starting to get more and more organized. We have at this point, we should have about 20 kedulim or more, and we want to keep record of them, and we want to have an achdus. We want people to know that we know you. We want guys to get calls, to feel an identity, a part of a movement, part of Novhardok. And we want the Elam to feel good and to have some some actors get together maybe once a year and make a big keynote. You know, in Lakewood, we have, Rabbi Waldman comes from a whole area, a whole group of my Shever. They all live over there. Now we have a Jackson Olam over here. We have a Borough Park Olam. We have in Belgium, we have a whole Novandiga group. I don't know if we can include them. But we want to, the new Novandiga world, we want to get together, exchange ideas. What can we do to bring back Novandiga once or twice a year? We want to make, maybe we'll get membership cards, whatever. We want to make people feel like they belong to something. We want to make it official. You're part of our Olam. And I want to tell you, what I do really want to do very much is to daven. Make a special, with the names, without the names. You can put the names down. Whoever's part of our Olam, we're going to daven for each other. Lately, I'm davening more for the Olam, they should strike. And I'm seeing it. I'm saying, I'm davening for the Olam. We're all davening for each other. Well, just like for God's Klal Yisrael, but have a bigger chiyuv. You're all chever. We should all daven. We should all make a special, with an achdus. When achdus is a different world. We're working on this together. Let's find answers how to get better and better, if it's possible to get better for guys like us. It's not too much. We're already like so good. You know, the Pri Megadim, he wrote a sefer called Shoshana Sa'amokim. So in the sefer, he was a Meshuna de Ganav. So he wrote Shoshana Sa'amokim. There's the outside? Listen to this. He said, I have to check it out. I don't want to say it in public. He said a big melitz for people who are nichshel in certain things. I heard this b'shem, aid me paid. If he was in young years, whatever, he was whatever, and he's still nichshel, he had a big melitz for certain, whatever. It was a very, whatever. So the Pri Megadim in Shoshana Sa'amokim, he says, what did I write the sefer for? And nobody like me. It was a different door, but I said, don't do that. Somebody we should write a sefer. So he writes a whole of snatzlets, all the gedolim, please be meichel me, that somebody, a yukkel like me. I think he was talking Malamed, no? It's a Malamed. Wasn't he? Pri Megadim was a Malamed. He was a Malamed, a guy like me should write a sefer. I mean, so he says everybody has a chelik and Torah, but riots all over Kol Torah Kula. I'm allowed to, and it's legal, and it's good. Now comes the question, who did I write this for? Shoshana Sa'amokim. So he goes, Choshev a sefer. This is for a big, he says, who did I write it for? So he writes, I wrote it for people of my erech and learning, and people less than me, im yimatzeh. Did you hear that one? If you can find anybody less than me, if it's possible, such a thing. That's what he wrote. Now, nowadays, ship him straight to the psychiatric ward. Are you okay? That's where you live with that feeling about yourself? He was fine. He was quite productive. We're still living off the Heilig and Pri Megadim. And he is okay calling himself a nobody. But I also do like him, just a different direction. I say, we'll try to work on ourselves if there's anything room for improvement. I wonder if there's any guys as good as us. Well, what? I already paskin kulach yafar ayasi umum ein bach. Boom. You know what Yehуда said? He said that the at-risk bachrim, those guys, the Noshim Nebuch, they had so much criticism banging from the young years, banging their ears, that you can't say the slightest criticism. They have enough of that stuff swimming all over the brains 24/7. I'm no good for this. I did this. I did that. They don't like me. I got kicked out of school. I got messed up here. I said the wrong thing. They're full of that stuff. You can't say one more word. You'll kill them. So guys like that, you got to say only nice stuff. And a lot of people today are, they're not officially Nishrim, but that type of stuff, the brain is loaded with doubts. Am I really good enough? This guy, I'm worried, I made a bad impression. You're full of that stuff, so it's time to go the other direction. Anyway, where are we up to? So I'm talking about Reb Gershon. We went to see him, and we were so spoiled what he looked like. He was mamish. He walked around. We used to look at him and laugh. He said, just look at him. He was sitting base medrash, always with a straight back. And they said, his mussar, the years of he was stolz. He was soft, but stolz. The way he walked, like he owned the world. He wasn't putting on any. Musa makes you natural. Musa Bespilus, he lived it. He felt so good about everything. And he was tortured by the Nazis. He was tortured by the Nazis. He had no trauma from 5 years of Gehenna. The Verdana Rebbe, who was an Adam Gadol here, he was a big time, he loved Reb Gershon. He said, I'm a Hungarian, I went to a year and a half of the camps. And I'm like, it's not an easy life for me when I went traumas. And this man with 5 years, and he looks like the first Rosh Hashanah, first Elul, he was knocking like back in yeshiva with the same ruach. Yeah. Like nothing, he never went through nothing. He went through 5 years again. And he once heard a shir from me. He said, here this other Yid, a tzaddik, a tired Yid, but he was depressed. It was right after the Holocaust. And there you can tell the pain, And Reb Gershon gives it. He's laughing like he never stopped laughing in the concentration camp. Everything's good. His life was unbelievable what this man was. They tortured him. I met a man who was in this room who was at the Tyra. He was there. He saw part of his heel was missing and part of his throat every day. They smashed him by the throat. He used to talk like this. And he couldn't do hagba with his hand and his nose. There was something wrong with his nose. He couldn't have kids. Gosh, what they did to him. He walked around. He was happy. Happy is an understatement. He was like, how do you do that? So he told years of musha. Funny kid as he loved Hashem like crazy. And he had the whole Novanega Mahalach of making a chayzik of Olam Hazeh. You don't care so much about your body. And we were walking through the thorns together. Shol Miller Zatzal, Bethlehem, Marty Katz, and myself, we were there together, walking through the woods to the base of Didus, a place called Orly. It's the name of the place. Orly. And it's a long walk, about a mile, whatever. 3/4 of a mile. We're going to beautiful woods over there, in the backyard of Novanega, in the woods. It's in France. It's Gan Eden. We should do that. Yes, Hashem, you wait. One of these days, you never know. And walking, and suddenly it's thorns. And we were walking American guys with thorns. Hey, pick up your foot. We were like all Americans. And Gershon, Shol Miller Zatzal, he noticed the way Gershon walked through. He walked right through. They ripped through his pants, through his skin. He didn't know what. Oh, there's thorns. I didn't notice. It was in a different world. He was like, that's the bonding. They don't get involved. Did he know what he ate? And nafkamina, what you eat? I told you what happened with the cornflakes. Never told you the cornflakes story of Erev Shabbos. He invited me to eat with him. It's a long Erev Shabbos, so they had to sit down to a meal with chicken, with soup. He had black coffee in front of him and a can of cornflakes. And he's eating, he takes the cornflakes, dumps it in the soup, then he dumps it on the chicken, on the peas and carrots, dumps it into the black coffee with the cornflakes. He ate the black coffee and he's, oi, I forgot about you. He takes the cornflakes, dumps it in my plate. Entschuldig, I forgot you. Welcome to the morning. This is the morning, it's an easy life. Peas don't go good with carrots. Peas go with carrots. No, you can't eat that. This goes with, you're mixing it up. You're supposed to eat this. Rather, there is a chazal that says that you shouldn't be namad the Babylonian or eichel nama banama. There's a certain, you're supposed to have a certain shtickle seichel if you're part of the world. But if you're in Novanega, you're in a different planet. Might have to eat it. It's food. Go eat. Who cares? And they are the simcha. You know how much stress you have because of your suit. Gotta be. I got a new hat. The old hat that's junky gives me much less stress than the new one. The new one. Oh no. Do I look like a mensch? The old one that's old. Navadi, what do you get what the hat looks like? Put it on. I know Chabadsky and Elicha Chabadsky told me, I put on a hat, and unto death we part. That hat is there to stay. Here's the hat, don't bother me. It looks like this, it looks like that. They're all right. Just don't let the Rebbitzins get involved. If you don't have the Rebbitzin, then you're fine. And ties, they made a chayzik out of tie. I used to tell them when I came to France, I said, I love coming here. I leave my tie at home. I'm a free man. Do you wearing a tie? Oh, yes. Tie, does it look good? You know how much stress you get from being part of the world? They kill you. Every move you make. Then you eat. This is food. And they laugh at food. The Alta used to make chayzik of food. He had the Olam on the floor. You lost your appetite. You know what happened to Ben Siem Brook once? He was building a yeshiva. He had a yeshiva back in Europe. And Vayiyayim came to someone's doorstep and he fainted. And they revived him. What happened to him? They found out he didn't eat for 3 days. How come? He forgot. I forgot to eat. You know, in America, my wife tells me, whenever I come home at night, come to eat. I said, oh no. Any more of that stuff? You don't notice my buttons are popping? I'm joking. But it's true. You have to eat. We're doing fine. Gershon once did. He once wanted to show me. This is not for us, by the way. I'm just doing it to be funny. It's not dafka for us. I don't know if we're ready for this. Go eat and enjoy. They told me this in Novandi. Eat. They had dips over there. Chaim Halpern used to constantly tell me. I told you, Reb Gesher told me. He said, I asked him, what about food, working in food? Chofetz Chaim had gesagt, if you're going to eat like a guy, you'll learn like a yid. If you eat like a yid, you'll learn like a guy. He told me this b'shem Chofetz Chaim. Reb Gesher. So, food wasn't, they didn't put, but when they had no food, and the Alta made fun of it, and everyone was fine. Because who needs that stuff? Waste of time. You know, the big millionaires are not into this. They try to model after the big businessmen. They're very into it. Those are the people that we got to be like. A guy has an incentive. He's got a motivation to make money, millions. He don't eat, he don't sleep, and he's fine. He doesn't miss anything because he's so motivated. They try to be like that in the body. They try to, So they, all right, so I'll tell you the mice. Chaim Safed told me this mice. It's good to hear the story. So he used to go with us, and we had a shtickle chabura, and he got a job in Calgary, New Jersey. He's there, he's doing up a velt. He still learns Musar. He became an Novandi all the way. So, he's a very chashuv yigaman. Baal Tshuva, very chashuv. Talmid Chacham, he finished Shas. So, he told me a story. When he was a kid, there was a baseball or football team that was the losing team in the world. They weren't good at it. And the coach was Vaistois Atam, was an Ish Tam, And I told you that I like an Ish Tam. You'll soon see why. It was an Ish Tam. And he said, we are going to win. They were going to play the best team around. They didn't stand a chance in a million years. We're winning, we're winning, we're winning, we're winning. Day and night. So he put out the stickers that we're winning. Put us on television. Announce, yes, we are winning, there's no question. Winning, and all this chaver were psyched up, we're winning. There's no way. No, that's what it's going to be. They came, the game started. And they were losing their pants. And while they're losing their pants, we're winning. That's not the mice. We're winning. But you got 3 strikes and 3. We're winning. The safe, bottom, I don't want to reveal how much knowledge I know about my Girsa Diankasa. Maybe I'll say it also. You'll find out that I'm fought a shtickle Harry. A prat. Oh, that's it. You made my day. Bottom of the ninth, base is loaded. 2 strikes. And the guy hits a home run. And they won the game. The guy, the Yuckle, the inferior team, they won. He saw this happen with his own eyes. He had no shags and musa, nothing. It's a Matthias in the Bria. Rabotai, don't give up. Keep going. Keep dominating. Akal Yuckle. Anybody want to get involved in active service for our movement? Anybody, what we need? I'll tell you what we need. Come over to me privately, we'll talk. What we want to have is like this. First of all, we have Rosh Hashanah. Then they're gone now. 2 Rosh Hashanah. We have people who they're not even part of us anymore. They take care of themselves. They make Kedolim, and you get me 10 people, 8, 15 people. They just started Bachram, 20 Bachram get together, $50 a month. You learn 15 minutes a day, anything you want to Bטחון. And once a week on Zakis Rab, the altar. By the way, there's a Sefer Zakis Rab in my box. If you're really going to use it, take it. There's a few of them. I have a box outside. But if you're really going to use it, but I don't know how many they have around. I want to get it reprinted. It's a murder. So I want to get people. So must have at least 150 Bachram Light involved. Baltimore used to have 70 people registered. They're redoing it again now, Bezer Hashem. We have it in Muncie, we have it in, I think, Detroit, a few states. And we want to get them together too. We want to know who they are. We want to be in touch with them, give them a call from time to time, and make an egret. Then we have that. Then Bטחון weekly. If anybody wants to help give it out or raise money, whatever you want. I had a big mifus, thanks to Chashvayit. Had a big mifus. I needed money. At my Bטחון, I said, I had enough. I need thousands. You give me hundreds. This guy wants, 2,000, 2,000. I can't handle it. I said, the next day I got myself. Here it is. I fed the check from a Taida Heilige. Read a shidduch. He said, shidduch goes. Here it is. $7,200. Give me a signature. I'm not used to this kind of money. Thank you, Rabbi. So I'm having these mifsim all the time. But I need, if you want to collect, go collect. We need Light putting out things. I have for my chevra. They're not here. There was a few of them. They come to this van, they come to Dam. One puts out stuff on Bezenis, one puts out on Ayin Tova, one puts out on Kinna, one puts out on Stam. He puts out beautiful stuff. Everyone puts out Lumdus weekly, putting out a Sefer now. We'd like to enhance that.